LeBron James and Kevin Durant. I hate to break it to you fellas, but it's over for you. This is the end of your careers in terms of winning. Neither of you will ever make it back to the Western Conference Finals or the Eastern Conference Finals, and neither of you will win another championship in your careers. The ships have sailed for you two. You've been in the league, what, 20 plus years, 15 plus years each? Kevin Durant, you managed to get 2 rings out of it with Golden State. 2 championship rings, 2 finals MVPs. LeBron, you managed to get 4 rings out of it. 4 finals MVPs, I believe. 3 with Miami. 1 with the Lakers. No, I'm sorry. 2 with Miami. 1 with Cleveland. 1 with the Lakers. You won a ring with 3 different teams. You know, listen, it's not the end all be all, right? Nobody really wins that many rings. You know, Jordan won 6, Tim Duncan won 5, Kobe won 5. But in the end, you two individually just weren't good enough on your own with teams built around you to get it done. Kevin Durant started out in OKC. He had the perfect team around him. He had James Harden. He had Russell Westbrook. He had Serge Ibaka. He had guys around him. You know? He had guys around him that could get it done. Then he left OKC when he couldn't get it done, and he joined Golden State, the team that beat him. And what happened? You joined Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. And you won 2 NBA championships, and you was the Finals MVP of those 2 NBA championships. And you made it back for a third time, but you got hurt, like you always do. You always get hurt, unfortunately. But you always get hurt, and you got hurt. And you guys lost that champion. You guys lost to Toronto, unfortunately. You know? So then you leave Golden State and you want to team up with your friend who now you developed a friendship with. Both you guys developed a friendship out of weirdness and feeling like loners or the odd man out of your situation. So you team up with Kyrie Irving and not the New York Knicks, but the Brooklyn Nets. You go to Brooklyn and team up with Kyrie Irving. And then you guys recruit James Harden, and James Harden leaves. James Harden leaves Houston and comes to Brooklyn with you guys. And you still couldn't get it done. Nothing went right. Everything went wrong in Brooklyn. To the point where you got swept by the Boston Celtics. You and Kyrie Irving, you had one of the worst playoff performances in a 4-game stretch ever. You had the worst playoff performance in a 4-game series ever. You lost 4-0 to the Boston Celtics. Completely swept. You look like a kid out there playing amongst men. So then what happens? You decide you want to leave Brooklyn. So you leave Brooklyn. And you go to the Phoenix Suns. Because now you developed a relationship with Devin Booker. And you want to play with a young star. So you go play with Devin Booker. You gut the team to play. You gut a team that went to the finals, a year prior, to play with Devin Booker. And it doesn't work out. You guys don't make the playoffs. You guys lose in the playoffs. Everything goes wrong with you in Phoenix. So what happens? You leave Phoenix, some of the most embarrassing seasons you ever had, which ended in you not making the playoffs sometimes and completely getting bewildered in some of those matchups. So that goes astray, right? You leave Phoenix. Now, where do you go after that? You end up in Houston. You want to play with a young team. I could be the leader of this young team. I could help them. Everything might go right. What happened so far? You quit on your team, man. You guys lose. You get hurt. You quit on them. You don't want to come back to help them. First the Lakers. First the Lakers of all people. Now look at you. 15 plus years. 15 plus years, Kevin Durant. And the only time you've ever been successful in the NBA is when you went to join a team that was already a signed, packaged, and delivered deal. It's over for you. There's nowhere else for you to go. The team you're on, you're not going to win a championship on the Houston Rockets. And there's nowhere for you to go to win a championship. It's just over. And as far as LeBron goes, heck, I'll go as far as to say, well, LeBron played 20 plus years. LeBron has been in the NBA. You know, I'm going to give LeBron some slack. Even though he's doing some of the most shadiest things ever, trading teammates, gutted the whole Lakers team, even though you got a ring out of it, so I guess it really doesn't matter in the end. But I'm going to give LeBron some slack, right? He's played 20 plus years in the league. 20 plus. And he got 4 rings out of it. But here's where I'm not going to give LeBron slack at. He's played 20 plus years in the league, but he could have had more than 4 rings. The reason why LeBron doesn't have more than 4 rings is because he wants to be the GM too bad. I'm a firm believer that if LeBron has stayed in Cleveland his whole career, he will have more rings than Jordan. I firmly believe that. Because he would have been the talent coming in through the draft, free agency to come to Cleveland and play with him. Things would have been completely different. I don't think he was in the East at a time where it was almost a guarantee he was going to get to the finals every year because nobody else in the East was going to be able to stop him. Nobody. Just look at when he went to Miami. Nobody stopped him in the East. Nobody. So him leaving the East made no sense. Going to the West? You leave Cleveland, you go to Miami, right? So you go to Miami, you lose to Dallas, you beat OKC, you beat San Antonio, then you lose to San Antonio. So you went to 4 finals. You went to 4 finals with Miami. That was a success. You didn't win 4 rings. You won 2 out of the 4, but you went to 4 finals. Who's to say that if LeBron didn't stay in Cleveland all those years, he wouldn't have went to those 4 finals with Cleveland? It would have been 5 total because of the first time he went with Cleveland when he got swept by San Antonio. So it would have been 5 finals that he had went to with Cleveland because Miami wasn't going to be able to beat him. Toronto wasn't going to be able to beat him. These are the players that left their teams to join you when you went to Miami. Chris Bosh didn't have a full-blown team around him. Miami didn't have a full-blown team around Wade. So you were going to get out of the East regardless. Boston was coming to an end in terms of health and aging. Boston wasn't going to be there forever. So you weren't going to have to worry about them forever. They were aging out. Now, they gave you a run for your money while still with Miami. But how long was that really going to last? It wasn't going to last forever. That Boston team. I don't believe so. I don't believe so at all. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that Boston team gets to more finals if you stay in Cleveland. But maybe not. Who's to say? And also, when you get to Miami, Indiana becomes a team. Indiana becomes a team. But then what happens? You beat Indiana. Indiana falls apart quick. So they weren't a long-term problem for you. So then you go back to Cleveland. You trade the number 1 pick. You join forces with Kyrie Irving. You convince Kevin Love, who's averaging 30 points, 20 rebounds, 20 points, 25 rebounds a game in Minnesota. You convince him to leave, trade the number 1 pick, which is Andrew Wiggins, to Minnesota for Kevin Love. So now you got Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving. First year, you make it to the NBA Finals, but Kevin Love breaks his arm. Kevin Love breaks his arm before you get there, so it's just you and Kyrie. You lose in the finals to the Warriors. Okay? So you run it back. You run it back and back and back. And you lose and you lose and you lose. Losing to that Golden State team, I feel like it was evenly matched. Now, you go back. Now, okay, you lose the first one. Then the second one you win. Now we can get into Draymond getting suspended or whatever. But he was there for game 7, so the key players for Golden State was there. Draymond, Steph, and Klay Thompson was there. LeBron, Kyrie, Kevin Love was there. So it was evenly matched, in my opinion. And Golden State lost. LeBron brings the Cleveland Cavaliers a championship. Then you go back to the finals 2 more years. So while in Cleveland, you made it to the finals 5 years. The first year in Cleveland, you got swept by San Antonio. Then you go back to Cleveland. You lose in the finals to Golden State. Then you go back to the finals versus Golden State and beat them. Then you lose 2 more to Golden State. You lose 2 more to Golden State. Because the guy, your nemesis, Kevin Durant, joins them because he's scared to do it on his own. And you lose 2 more. But then you go to the Lakers and you win 1 during the pandemic. You join up with another superstar and you only win 1. It's a complete disaster. Your whole time in LA has been a disaster. You win 1 ring that people don't even want to count because it happened during a pandemic in a isolated scenario. An isolated situation. But you still won. But that's it for you as far as winning. Now you're on another team with another superstar in Luka Doncic and a budding star in Austin Reeves. And you're still not going to be able to get it done. Because the teams in the NBA now are just too good. 4 rings is good, LeBron. Just like 2 rings is good for Durant. You guys will never win another ring, and that's okay. You can play out the rest of your years, having fun, breaking records, etching your name in the history books even more. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's okay. But as far as winning another championship, yeah, that's over. You guys had a good run. You guys were good for the league. But your time is come and gone. It happens to everybody. And that's okay. That's okay. It happens to everybody. Your time comes and your time goes. There's a new generation and they're thriving. The NBA has parity. We've had a different champion the last, 6 years? 6, 7 years. And it's going to only get better. LeBron and KD.